Hello and welcome. You are watching another episode of Monday Morning Quarterback. My name is Chip Van Gundy. I am your host. Listen, I am so excited to be with you guys. It is another year of great football. We are back at it, as you know, as I'm sure you are well aware. The Dallas Cowboys lost yet again last night to the Philadelphia Eagles 24-20 in the 25-2026 NFL season opener, not to get out there. I hope you guys were watching, and I'm pretty sure if you're a Cowboys fan, you weren't surprised by what you saw. I'm sure if you're an Eagles fan, you weren't surprised by what you saw. But you know we've got to dissect and psychoanalyze every part of the game that we saw last night. It was a very, very, very it was an ugly game. No, I'm joking. It wasn't actually as embarrassing as we expect the Cowboys to be, but it was the result we expect. What did you think? Let me know in the comments. Were you expecting the Cowboys to come out on top? They lost 24-20 to the Philadelphia Eagles. They were in Philadelphia last night, and so the Super Bowl defending champions opened up home field advantage 24. Decisive win, actually. It was a lot of the motion, a lot of the scoring and excitement was really in the beginning of the first half, if you will, if not the very first play of the game. Let's take a look at what happened here, opening up the game, which was, in my honest opinion, pretty freaking disgusting. Let's take a look here.
I think he did. There you go. There you go. And the official was right there to throw the flag. Brian Neal, the umpire, who was keeping an eye on that confrontation. No idea, obviously, what was said. But Jalen Carter out of this game before a snap. Chris, that's, first of all, I got no idea. Carter ejected.
Did you see that? I'm sorry, I'm all over the place here. I want to show you that video again. We're going to go back here to the let's get this together real quick. But were you watching that? I'm sorry, I kind of got carried away there, but I want to show that to you one more time. It was let's see here.
I think he did. There you go. There you go. And the official was right there to throw the flag. Brian Neal, the umpire, who was keeping an eye on that confrontation. No idea, obviously, what was said. But Jalen Carter out of this game before.
Yeah, pretty crazy. What do you think? Let me know in the comments what you thought about Jalen Carter's opening. His opening play got him taken out the game for good. But then again, you guys, like I said, after that, it was pretty much what we expected from the Cowboys, quite frankly, man. And I'm hoping that there's a better season. You know, they took the biggest blow in the beginning of the season, losing Micah Parsons, who actually Jerry Jones made an argument that it may not be the biggest loss of all time. But again, he's great at marketing, so what else would you expect? Let me bring in my homie here, man. I got a guy that's waiting on the line here to come in. What do you guys think about the game? I know you saw it last night. I want to know what your thoughts were on the Dallas Cowboys game versus the Eagles, defending Super Bowl champion Eagles. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think that the Cowboys can? Good morning, Miss Karen Winston. Shout out to Miss Karen Winston here in Detroit. We're doing a different type of content this morning. We're talking about those good old Cowboys and Eagles. The season opener officially started last night with those Super Bowl defending champions hosting the Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys, and they did, in fact, win 24-20. What did you think? You know, I didn't feel like the offense was that bad. We're going to take a look at the stats here in just a moment, the statistics for both teams. But I didn't think that they looked too bad. The Cowboys, that is. But look, hey, that was a dime right there. That was an absolute dime. Let's see. Let's go back to that. Let's take a look at this here. And so you've got a couple of plays. Look, boom, perfect pocket. Now you'd have a penalty right there. But I'm talking about on the part of Dak Prescott. You had a couple of plays like this where he wasn't the reason. Look, ball right there in his hands. Ooh, man, right there to the front of the helmet. But what I'm saying though is, I mean, you saw a pass like that. You saw that pass, and then you also saw another one to CeeDee Lamb in the fourth quarter, which I believe could have kind of kept the series going. And so Dak Prescott kind of met the moment. And let me also say, stayed extremely composed, given that he was spat on before the game even started, and stayed in it and made this competitive. Like I said, that was a great play, just to get that just to get that ball out of bounds on a 2nd and 11 was a pretty athletic play by Jalen Hurts there. But then again, you guys, let me know what you think about the last night's game. I think the Dallas Cowboys will be fine. I don't know if they'll make it to the playoffs, but I think they'll be fine. They'll be good enough to be competitive, because what you think of the Dallas Cowboys is that they won't be competitive in games like this. But we're seeing something otherwise. We're going to take a quick break here, and then when we come back, we're going to look at some of the stats for the game. I want to go to a clip here that I don't know if it's gonna play right or not, but I want to go to a clip here of a podcast I was watching the other day. How are you guys doing? Where are you guys watching from? I'm gonna go to this clip here that I was watching as we take a. You know what? I got a better idea. Again, you guys, this is Monday. This is a special edition of Monday Morning Quarterback. I am your host, Chip Van Gundy. Now, listen, we are so excited and grateful to be rocking with you guys this football season, and we certainly hope that you all allow us to be the trusted voice for your sports commentary, because we absolutely have a good pulse on kind of predictions of the games. We understand both the culture on and off the field, and I think we're pretty good at predictions. I think I could have definitely predicted the outcome of this game. I probably would have said 17-24 instead of 20-24. But nevertheless, the Eagles won, defending Super Bowl champs. Let's take a look at our intro here. I love this. Hello and welcome. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I am your host, Chip Van Gundy. You are watching a special edition of Monday Morning Quarterback. Now, it is Friday morning, September the 5th, but we are here live because the Cowboys played last night. So, how do you not do a special broadcast for the Cowboys? They played the Philadelphia Eagles last night. The Philadelphia Eagles, defending Super Bowl champions, did, however, win 24-20. I am so excited to break down the game with you. Let me know in the comments if you expected this win, if you expected this outcome. We saw some pretty disgusting play before the game actually started. There was an ejection, but after that, it was pretty much a competitive game. Again, let me know what you guys think. I actually put the headline there a little bit more inflammatory than what the game actually said. The Cowboys were actually competitive. They actually were able to move the ball. Um, that was the pass. That was the backbreaker right there. That was the backbreaker. What down was that? Let's see. Was it fourth? Oh, it was okay. Man. So what? Yeah, you got like fourth and 3. This is the play. And as I referred to it earlier, that was one, and then you had the other one where the gentleman had the ball in his hands and there was a PI in the end zone. But there were a couple of times where it wasn't Dak, man. It definitely wasn't Dak. And CeeDee Lamb had a pretty outstanding game. I believe it was 7 catches, 110 yards. So it wasn't as though he didn't have a great game. He was pretty much the featured receiver, and it was obvious from the onset on the Dallas side of the ball. But it came up a little bit short in the moments that really mattered. And you see Jalen Hurts, I mean, just being Jalen. And he's really settling into his quarterback play just as a player in the league. and he doesn't necessarily have the type of, and here's what I was talking about a moment ago when Jalen Carter got ejected from the game. But back to Jalen Hurts, I was saying that he doesn't have this type of quickness and this type of agility where you see Lamar Jackson like really breaking away or making people look dumb. But he is proving himself to be durable. He's proven himself to be, patient in the pocket. But most of all, it just seems like Jalen makes the right decisions. It seems like he makes the right decisions, and I think that comes from his calm demeanor. It just comes from the fact, and you see that a little bit more with Dak. You see that especially in a moment like this, to have him to respond in such a cool, controlled way speaks to his control, and you see, dimes like that being dropped early in the game. And quite frankly, Dak kept that up throughout the game. Again, we saw a few moments ago at the end of the game, CeeDee Lamb dropped a similar pass. And so Dak really performed, but Jalen outperformed. And that's pretty much what it was. This was a pretty good tail of the tape where you got a good sample size of what both quarterbacks are capable of. But I'm not afraid to also acknowledge that had Micah Parsons been in this game, he very well could have had some type of impact on the game. And so just things to be mindful of. I think Micah Parsons would have been enough of a game changer to potentially maybe shorten that clock for Jalen a couple of times, which you really didn't see. You see Jalen. I just think when you have a running back like that, it doesn't hurt either, right? But you just see his calmness and his comfortability in the pocket. He's got two stout receivers, great tight end, great running back, great line. You see it. And this is a quarterback whose accuracy we questioned in Alabama. You remember that? There was a moment when he got benched by Tua that we said, oh man, this guy won't be able to play on Sunday. He's just, look at that. Decisive running, right? And I think one of the things that makes him special is the running ability that he has not caused him to be a run first type. We've seen those quarterbacks who, like, their second option, their third option is to take off running. But Jalen keeps his eyes up the field 2 and 3 and 4 seconds, and it's kind of like you can't just charge at him, right? You really, 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 he really extends the pocket in a way that really puts those linebackers and those DBs in vulnerable positions. Deion Sanders in his prime can't hold an NFL a receiver for 6, 7 seconds, but that's what Jalen Hurts can give you at times. Just this extension. And again, that was a PI. Nice to see Pickens kind of making some noise, but again, you see that not necessarily being the weak spot on the offense that we thought it would be. Perfectly placed ball. Look at the ball. I'm talking about placement of the ball here. Couldn't have been any better. And without a PI, he's probably walking into the end zone. And so again, you see this maturation in Dak Prescott. And will he be a Super Bowl winning quarterback? No, but I think that with his demeanor and now with his play, I think he deserves to be. I think he plays well enough to have that star on his chest. I think so for sure, or on his helmet, I should say. Javonte Williams had a pretty. I think he had all of their. Yeah, I think he had all of their touchdowns. He had both of their touchdowns, as you saw him put up the 2 there. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about this game. Do you think the Dallas Cowboys will make it into the playoffs? How did you feel about this opening prime time game on Thursday? Man, I'm excited the season's here. We are going to be dissecting and psychoanalyzing every aspect of each and one of the most important games throughout the entire season, all the way up until the Super Bowl. So let me know, like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think.